Hello and welcome to another special episode of Superhero Club, your go-to show for all things comic book inspired on Amazon Prime Video. I'm your host, Stephanie Williams. Before we get too far in, if you want more superhero content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Today, we are highlighting the boys' character ATrain, a superhero with great speed but little responsibility.
We gotta listen to each other. ATrain's Turbo Rush Energy Drink.
First, we'll dive into his comic history and then get into the ATrain we've gotten to know in the last 3 seasons of the Amazon Prime Video TV series adaptation of The Boys. Alright, so let's get into ATrain's comic history. ATrain made his debut in The Boys #1 and one of superhero comics' most shocking character introductions. He accidentally slams a villain into Huey's girlfriend while traveling at the speed of sound, killing her instantly. While he feels bad for a brief moment, he then brushes it off as though it was just another day that ended in Y. It's all downhill running from that moment on for a guy who severely lacks empathy. Before ATrain became a member of the Seven, he was in a teenage-based superhero group called Teenage Kicks, who also makes an appearance in the TV show. His teammates included Popclaw, Blarney Clock, Gunpowder, Dognut, Shoutout, and Whack Job. He was a great fit for a team who was a stark counterpart to more conservative teams like the Young Americans. Despite having little control over his abilities, ATrain left Teenage Kicks to join the Seven after the original speedster, Mr. Marathon, was killed during the botched plane rescue attempt during the 9/11 crisis. Like in the show, in the comics, ATrain is pretty low on the respect total poll among the Seven members, which is truly a difficult feat when there is someone like Homelander on the team, and ATrain was under Homelander's thumb too for a little while, so you can imagine how stressful that was. ATrain did his best to make Starlight's life a living hell once she became the newest member of the Seven. He enjoyed humiliating her the most out of all of the Seven members. He assaults Starlight more than once, but the second time she fights back and temporarily blinds him in one eye, something he deserved, and he actually got away pretty easy in terms of what he tried to do to her. When ATrain is finally kidnapped by Billy Butcher, his true cowardice gives way. Huey is the one to end ATrain after Butcher plays audio of ATrain and the Seven's true reasons for hiring Starlight, and of course, for killing Robin. So big bad ATrain begs for his life, crying, snot, throwing up everything, and of course, he gets killed by Huey, who, again, he had that coming since the first issue. All right, now let's move on to the ATrain we've learned about in the past 3 seasons of the Amazon Prime TV series adaptation. The ATrain of The Boys adaptation is still a self-centered, fame-chasing, girlfriend-killing member of the Seven, but is also given the space to showcase more nuance than its comic book iteration.
How does this not all start with you, Huey? The only difference between you and me is that I made a mistake. The shit that you did was on purpose. So who's worse?
Not much information is given about ATrain's life before joining the Seven. We know that his real name is Reggie Franklin, he was born in 1987, and that he grew up poor. Like his comic iteration, ATrain also started off as a member of Teenage Kicks. It was during his time with the Teenage Kicks that he entered a relationship with Popclaw, who we meet in season 1, but unfortunately she does get killed by ATrain. Just like in the comics, ATrain also has a problem with Compound V. He abuses it. In the show, ATrain is high on Compound V when he runs into Huey's girlfriend.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
The reason why ATrain is using Compound B is his desire to stay the fastest man alive. It's what drives him to seek it out. Now, one could argue that is because he is so vain, that is a reason, but also because he grew up with just financial struggles and difficulties. He has a fear of having to go back to that life and being unable to provide and support for his family. So while that isn't necessarily an excuse, it does give some nuance and some reasoning as to why he's willing to take the risk that he does by taking Compound B. And despite wanting to make sure that he continued to kind of take care of the people in his life, he does not listen to them at all, because his brother Vought and even a few other folks try to warn him of the dangers of taking Compound V. And eventually His usage is what brings him to having a heart attack by the end of season 1 when he has that fight with Starlight and Huey. ATrain ends up losing his spot on the 17 when he's kicked off by Homelander. He's having heart palpitation every time he speeds up, and it's just causing a huge problem. He's then recruited by the Deep to join the Church of the Collective in hopes of joining the Seven again by doing so. He becomes a member again only after his replacement is killed by Victoria Newman during the events of the courtroom massacre in season 2. ATrain also helps the boys by giving them leaked info about Stormfront, but that was more so for personal reasons and not because he became a new person during his time with the Church of the Collective. The moment did show he did have room for some redemption or more complicated times ahead of him. Once ATrain is back with the Seven, he tries rebranding himself after the Dawn of the Seven movie premiere. Like his comic book iteration, season 3 showcases just how little respect his teammates and Vought have for him.
Just stay there and rest those useless legs.
To make matters worse, he shows little to no backbone regarding his desire to get back into Homelander's good graces by snitching on Starlight about her plan to take Homelander down, even after she invites him. He is desperate, and it shows in almost all his actions since the day he ran into Robin in the first episode of season 1. ATrain tries to pitch a video game about the transatlantic slave trade, so I would say that he's at rock bottom. ATrain changes his costume but doesn't truly change much about himself, even in his attempt to get involved with his community at the request of his brother and to speak up to Homelander about Blue Hawk. ATrain's selfishness and hubris are what ultimately get his brother severely injured. It also makes him stay with the Seven even when he is presented with an out by the end of season 3. ATrain, hopefully season 4, maybe he'll have a redemption, maybe he won't. But he's going to have to do something because ATrain is moving real quick to missing the next stop on life. And that concludes this deep dive character session on Superhero Club. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm your host, Stephanie Williams. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes of Superhero Club. Remember, you can check out all 3 seasons of The Boys on Amazon Prime Video.